It's very important to keep an open mind, no, to different social issues, no, to different social realities, and also to different social experiences. No, openness is one of the key to life, really, and to learning.
A warm welcome to Young Voices, an intercultural podcast. We are Young at Mission 21, and with this podcast, we want to give young people from all over the world a voice. Thanks to everyone for joining us on this journey to listen, learn, and grow together.
Hello, my name is Mandula, and I'm together with Lisa and with Chester. Chester is from the Philippines, and today we are really happy to get to know you. I mean, Lisa, you know him, you met him on your travels, and I have not met you before, but now I'm really interested in hearing you talk about your travels and your life, your passion.
So I'm Chester Romel Canonicato. I'm from the Philippines. No, I've graduated my bachelor's degree in philosophy and my master of arts in theology in a seminary setup. So originally I'm bound for my training is for priesthood, but after graduating I've decided to leave the seminary first and go on traveling and exploring the Southeast Asia. So yeah, so that would be a basic fact about me. And as you have said, I and Lisa met in our way to, I think, Vietnam from Cambodia, Phnom Penh. So going to Vietnam, we rode together on a sleeper bus. Yeah.
When we met, you were traveling on your own just for pleasure. But I know, because we've been connected on Instagram, I know that you also travel with your seminary.
Yeah. A part of our program in the seminary, especially during my theology years, my last period of formation was to explore other places here in the Philippines. So we have like what we call lakbay aral. So it's basically studying while traveling, to see the different contexts of the Philippines, especially regarding the Christian practice, especially regarding religion. And it quite as our formators, would tell us, it will broaden our horizon, because mostly being confined into a single space would not give you that much of a world view of what's happening all around. But going to different places and experiencing different cultures would quite broaden and expand our minds to different realities.
And what kind of religions are there in the Philippines?
Okay. Majority in the Philippines would be, yeah, Christianity, but syempre, within Christianity, that there would be different religious groups that's in it. The predominant religious group in the Philippines, in light of Christianity, or in terms of population, would be Catholicism. So I think 80% of the population here in the Philippines would be Catholics. The 5% would be the other Christian denominations, and 15% would be Islam. So that would be the what I remember, that would be the breakdown of the religious traditions here in the Philippines. But majority would be Catholicism. So my travel to other places would bring me to countries that Catholicism and Christianity is not predominant, because in Southeast Asia only the Philippines is the highly Christian country. So yeah.
What countries have you been to?
I've been to almost all the Southeast Asian countries except one, Timor-Leste, because it's quite far. So I've been first to Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, Cambodia. Sorry, I've not been to Laos. That's a different also. I have not been to Laos yet. And I've been to Brunei, to the southern part of the Philippines, Kota Kinabalu area, but that's also Malaysia, I think. I've been to Indonesia too. Yeah. And the next target would be East Asia. So I've been to South Korea lately.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
What's your next target? Is it like Japan is still open?
Yeah, it's China, I think. I want to go to Beijing.
Why?
Oh, the first of all, because of the Great Wall of China. So that would be a bucket list. And also to experience with the tension of the Philippines with China. So I would just like to see how Chinese people really live their lives, especially in the capital area, because in a sense, that China would be one of one of the mysterious countries that we can visit. So especially with the dispute of the Philippines with China. So hopefully, it will broaden again my horizon about their country.
Mm.
So you travel to widen your horizon. Or
Yeah,
you-
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, both to widen my horizon and for rest for vacation. So I think those two go hand in hand.
Mhm.
What was the most surprising thing you found so far?
Okay, the most surprising thing I've found so far was that yeah, the most of yeah, that's quite a difficult question.
I like to ask these kind of questions, even though I can never answer them myself.
Maybe the most surprising thing I have found so far is that how yeah, let me first begin with my background at least, no, because it's Christianity or Christian theology as I've studied it is quite like black and white. So it's more of this thing and that thing or that. No, it's quite an ideal, no, an ideal representation or an ideal belief system. But with traveling, no, it's quite, questioned also my beliefs, but it's also developed or matured my beliefs that you see in the different situations of different people all around. No, I think the first surprise to me was that there are many things, no, beyond our experience here in the Philippines. So that's the first major surprise that I have. No, the things, no, that I know and the experience that I have is just very much little, no, compared to the experience and the way of life of many other people around the world. Second thing, no, it also it came to me as a surprise that yeah, another surprise would be that despite the differences of the belief systems and also the experiences of people, we would all long for something that is common. No, we want belongingness, love, connection. No, despite the differences that we have. So, in a sense, no, that it strengthens my belief at the same time. No, quite challenges it.
That made me speechless.
Yes.
Just before you said that you encounter religion often in your travels. Where do you encounter religion? How do you?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, my training would be inside a religious setup. So I am here in the Philippines, at least, no, and also exactly the same place where I studied the seminary, that would be steeped with religious beliefs, and that would be, in a sense, my bias, no, regarding religion. But as I have explored Southeast Asia, no, Southeast Asia again has varied religions and beliefs, no, from Buddhism to Islam to other religious denominations which are quite animistic, or like Hinduism and other religions. So that they would add up to my experience and my view of religion, as a way to develop cultures and people, and also our belief in God would have no variations, but at the same time, no, would arrive at the same point. So yeah, that's part of my experience in traveling.
Mhm.
That sounds really nice. Do you have like one last funny story to tell from your travels?
Hmm. A funny story. A funny story. Okay. Maybe this is one of the significant experiences that really, yeah, caught my caught me quite off guard, no, during my travel. When I was in Thailand, I was scheduled to stay for 5 days. So during the fifth day, I've already went into splurge shopping because I was thinking I still have money, and this would be my last night. So I went on shopping, buying pasalubong, no, or keepsakes for those who who will for my loved ones here at home. No, and after the after spending my money, what happened is that my flight got canceled. So I
Oh,
was extended for 3 days, no, for 3 days in Thailand. So I was really caught off guard during that time. But yeah, what I did was to call my parents and to ask for a backup money. But yeah, most of the time when my travel is quite no, is quite fixed. It's like we've experienced last time we met. No, it's I have fixed schedules during days. So those are those are quite in a sense, no, and tawag dito, I do not dissuade from the schedules that I make. So that extended 3 days, no, was I was really annoyed because I don't have money. That's the first thing, and the second thing is that I was really prepared to go home. But again, during those next 3 days, I was open to a lot more of experiences. I went on, yeah, going eating different kinds of viands and food all around, and also it gave me a chance to really be in touch with the experience of Thai people. Yeah, the story is significant because it challenged me, no, really to see that traveling is not something that is just fixed. No, we cannot just fix it. No, in
yeah.
as much as we want to plan it, we should always be open to surprises in a sense, no, and that, no, that would in all our travels in life also, that would bring a lot of change, because being open and being again, no, being open to those kind of surprises, no, made me realize that the differences of experiences and the difference of what my mental construct is, no, in regards to a particular ADR issue, or going back to the fixed schedule that I have. No? I should be more open to surprises and to different lessons that life can teach. No, outside of my made up schedule and my made up mind. Okay, so maybe that's one of the that's just one of the significant experiences that I have. That's not a funny story. I don't know if that's a funny story.
But still, I think that's so beautiful. I think we all should be open to surprises and open to change. And sometimes really funny things come out of it, or you learn something.
I remember when we met that you really had like the fixed days, and my friend and I were you asked us like, yeah, what's your schedule? And we were like, we don't know. We
Yeah,
just
yeah,
booked a couple of nights in Saigon, and then we see where we go because we don't know yet. And you were really
yeah,
surprised that you were like, uh, how do you not know where you're going next? We just said, yeah, we only have a flight back.
yeah. I was really surprised back then because, as you know, no, my schedule is really fixed. No, I cannot just rebook or it's like fixed. And I was surprised, as she said, that they don't have fixed time. They savor the place as much as they like. But me, I don't do that much. Hopefully soon I can do that.
We briefly talked about like problem or differences in or issues in the Philippines
Yeah.
and how you would encounter them while traveling and seeing that they're same in other countries or that they may be handled different in other countries. Like what are different problems and like issues that are currently in the Philippines which you found also in other countries? Maybe the question will first be like what's problems and what the biggest problems and issues in the Philippines, and then in the next step, what are they in other countries?
Okay. So one of the major countries and major problems in the Philippines would be, first of all, the thing that we're currently experiencing right now is the problem really with climate change. The the weather is very much erratic, and it has huge consequences in the quality of life here in the Philippines, as I have mentioned earlier. You see, and also when we were traveling in Southeast Asia, the the temperature, during summer season, almost increased to by 2 or 3 degrees. It's very much quite unbearable. I know that you've also experienced that when you were traveling here in Southeast Asia. So that the temperature levels are quite increasing. But at the same time, when rainy season comes, just like we are now under a storm, no, named Katrina. So the floods really are higher than the usual levels. It's really devastating. So I think that would be one of the current problems that we need to address and face. Second would be another problem here in the Philippines, at least in the social milieu, would be the problem with politics. As you all know, during the last elections, the Filipino people basically, again, voted for the son of the late Ferdinand Marcos Sr., the known dictator here in the Philippines. But again, the Filipino people voted for these, and uh, now, no, they have a conflict, no, with his running mate. So that's quite causing a fiasco in Philippine politics, and yeah, that's the second biggest issue here in the Philippines. And the third would always be poverty and quality of life, which I think, that would be one of the common problems here in Southeast Asia. That many people would be striving just to live, day by day, with the meager amount that they have. So those are the problems that surface, in the Philippines. And then the second level of the question, I think, yeah, one common, among the Southeast Asian countries would be the problem with climate change, and that's all over the world. And but I would like to focus on how Southeast Asia is quite different from each other, although they are very much close from each other. Like if you would go to Singapore, it's a very much developed country, but crossing Singapore, going immediately to the next neighbors of Singapore, it would be a different story already. So, and also the belief system, the government system would be immediately different. So that's why Southeast Asia is like mixing bowl of different sorts. Yeah, that's how I see it. The way of life is very much different. In as much as it's the countries here are close to each other, but at the same time it would vary, in beliefs, in religion, in political systems and all. Like quite a mixture of many things.
I found that when I was in Thailand, we met shortly after I was in Thailand, so I felt like there was a huge gap between people who had a lot and
Yeah.
people who had nothing. And also the entertainment industry and luxury industry in Thailand is quite big compared to, for example, when I went to Laos.
Yeah.
I've been to Laos previously, and there was more equal. There was less luxury or less also from the entertainment business. How's that in the Philippines?
Yeah, I think one of the countries that is more identical to the Philippines would be Thailand. Oh, that's correct. That there is a great disparity between those who have more in life and also those who are poor. And then if I don't know if you've been, yeah, you've not yet been to the Philippines, but you will see that in cities, no? High-rise condominium units and also high-rise buildings would be beside, no, shanties and squatter areas. So looking at it from I don't know visibly from 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 the top, no, looking at it in an overview, no, literally, no, visually, literally, no, if you would look at it, no, one area is so much rich and the neighboring area would be so much poor. So that would be a paradox of one of the paradoxes of the Southeast Asian countries, especially the Philippines and Thailand also, as you've mentioned.
Yeah, Philippines is still on my list of traveling. I'll text you when I come to the Philippines.
Yeah, sure.
It may take a while.
I teach Christian theology in the University of Santo Tomas, no? And and the bias of it would be Christian theology, and I try my vantage point, or the main points that I'm trying to teach would be Catholic social teaching. So that would be the main source of the topics that I'm giving to the students. But I'm trying with my students to apply it, no, to see concrete social realities, no, which really are prevalent, and how can the Catholic social teachings help address those things, no, those problems in our country. So it's more of, as the method of Catholic social teaching would tell, it's a see, judge, act methodology or way of seeing things. Like, we first begin with concrete social realities, no, and try to judge or to evaluate it in light of what the church teaches, and, act and propose some actions to address those issues. So that would be, yeah, the bias, in a sense, of what I teach, in at the university, because I teach at a Catholic university. So
And what are like concrete actions you give to the students? Because for me
okay,
that sounds really, I cannot imagine like what are like concrete things you teach to the students. So for me that sounds really hypothetical.
yeah, in a sense, it's quite hypothetical because we are limited only to, yeah, to evaluation and making plan of action, but it's not for us to execute those kind of actions because that's quite beyond our sphere. So I'm helping them, to at least to evaluate the problem and try to find solutions, no, at least proposed solutions. But on the level of really executing, that's really one of the problems also with our methodology. It's quite left hanging in the action part. So yeah, I cannot, not right now, I cannot speak of any concrete actions, no, that we've done for for the problems that were mentioned.
But would there be some actions you would like to take?
Maybe one of the concrete actions that I would like to do, but it's still not, I haven't done anything to do it yet for the betterment of society is, but it's quite difficult to do it. Really to create, to create an organization, like a non-governmental organization that helps address especially the problem of poverty and maleducation here in the Philippines. That's again a theoretical idea, which in my own set of plans, so I would like to have that kind of advocacy, maybe to help children to study or to help send them to school sooner. But I don't have any concrete measures right now to address it. So it's quite left hanging, no, in a sense, the action part.
So basically, you need to find an NGO that can help build schools, and like maybe I assume there would be enough teachers that you don't need. There would be enough people qualified for teaching children.
Yeah, I think that would be not much of a problem here in the Philippines, especially in city areas. Yeah, so the problem, yeah, but the problem is they are quite undercompensated. So that's the problem with the education system, especially of teachers here in the Philippines. But regarding rebuilding of classrooms, I think, yeah, I haven't heard of any NGO that really advocates to build classrooms in at least in my consciousness. No, I haven't had any encounter of NGOs, yeah, trying to build schools here in the Philippines. Basically, most of the schools here are provided by the government too, the public government, the public schools.
Are there a lot of private schools?
There are a lot of private schools here in the Philippines.
But they're expensive, I assume.
They are very much expensive.
Yeah.
Well, at least that's the same in Switzerland. There are private schools, but they're expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah. But the problem also with public schools is that it's, yeah, you can enroll in public schools, but I don't know if you can imagine it. Some public schools will have 3 shifting of classes within a day. So there is a morning class, mid-morning class, and then afternoon to evening classes. So that would be 3 sections shifting for the same classroom, no, in public schools, especially in major cities. So
There are different classes, or what?
they are different classes sharing 3 classes sharing one classroom. So within a day, 3 classes, 3 sections would share one classroom. So that's the problem with the public schools, especially in big cities. But in provinces, no, in provinces there are lesser number of people. So, but the problem is the competency maybe of the teaching staff, because some teachers would teach like supposedly you should master one subject, but maybe a teacher no can teach math altogether with English and altogether with a history. So they won't have any focus of any subject matter. They would have theoretically, but because of the lack of maybe teachers in far away provinces, so that would be the case. So the quality quite would be not that much. Yeah, not that much. That the quality would not be, yeah,
Hi.
standards. Yeah.
So I hear teaching is really important to you. Would you say teaching is a passion of yours?
Yeah, yeah. I believe that teaching is one of my passions, especially regarding religion and history and philosophy. So that would be a means for me to share, at least to enlighten my students, to help them grapple with the thoughts all around the exists in society, through philosophy, and see it in my case, it is in the Christian tradition. So yeah, help them assimilate the Christian tradition in their lives. So it gives me enough, yeah, it gives me enough, it pushes me, rather, to share my belief and my knowledge to them, because those things that I value are, I think, very much important to the lives of the society, or to the lives of the people, and to the society at large.
Do you have something you want to share with us or with the listeners, or something important, or something else you want to discuss?
Okay. So maybe to wrap up our discussion in this session is that I would just like to impart to the listeners that it's very important to keep an open mind, to different social issues, no, to different social realities, and also to different social experiences. No, openness is one of the key to life, really, and to learning. Without being open, without being receptive of, and without the willingness, to learn and to experience different things, we would be quite limited to our viewpoints. But on the other hand, it's important to have a hold of the things that is valuable, to you and to your belief systems, in order for us to be guided also in sifting through the different spheres or different experiences that we have. And yeah, because of the richness of Southeast Asia, the different places, at least that I have been to, yeah, as I have mentioned, it quite challenged me to be open also, but at the same time, to be convinced of the beliefs that I have, and these, I think, would help, develop a better person in each of us. Openness, and at the same time, holding firm to what we really value the most. So I think those are the main lessons that I had, in my experiences in traveling, in going around the Southeast Asia and going around the Philippines. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for telling us about this diversity in Southeast Asia. And yes, it was really interesting to hear you talk about the Philippines, about Christianity, about your teaching, and also problems in Southeast Asia.
Well, I think that's a good word for ending.
Yes. Thank you very much for your time. And I hope you will have really nice travels. Good time in China.
Have a good time, and if you haven't already, follow Young Admission 21 on Instagram and Facebook, where you can learn more about us and our projects. There you also have the opportunity to ask questions to our podcast guests. And don't forget, always listen to the voices around you.